Hello, everyone. We're back again with a spicy topic. Is the CPA still wanted in 2025?
Wow, that is a spicy topic. Hello and welcome to Jollof Biryani. That's Emmanuel and Gagan with you. Without wasting any time, let's jump in.
Yeah, man. What do you think, my friend? Do you think having a CPA right now? Do you think it's still worth it?
Wow. So I have a very clear answer for that. And the answer is yes.
Okay,
There are a lot of arguments which can go against it. And if you want, we can present it, or we will rather talk about it during the video.
sure.
But why my answer is a clear cut yes is the CPA designation helps you stand apart from other people who are in the accounting industry. Not kind of saying that the value of someone who's experienced
Yeah,
is taken away if they don't hold a CPA, but if someone who has a CPA along with having certain experience helps your resume pop up higher than someone else.
yeah,
And there are certain jobs which actually do require a CPA. Now, in audit firms, of course, it is preferred for someone to do a CPA or ACCA,
yeah,
or whatever country you are in, you might have your CA for those specific countries. But I think it gives those letters to you at the back of your name, which kind of stands out itself. And you might not even be able to get through to the first round of interviews or even get picked up by, your resume getting picked up by the systems, because a lot of systems now use AI or other tools which might
yeah.
just even scan your CV or just throw it out because you don't have that designation. So just to get that initial recognition itself, I think it is important.
I mean, you have, like you've mentioned, great points, which is I think one of the key drivers or one of the key advantages of having the CPA is the fact that it's apart from the fact that it has that designation to the last year to your name. It's the fact that he had most of the people that are recruiting right now are looking for experienced people would actually want you to have a CPA because in their mind you having a CPA demonstrate that you actually understand the theoretical
Yeah.
foundation of accounting and audit, let's say profession. While I agree with you in most ways, I'm gonna take it to the other hand, which is it worth it? I would say it depends. I would say sometimes I would say no, sometimes yes. But I think the determining factor or the critical factor here is do you intend to further your career in audits or accounting? Like
Mhm.
if you sure, then definitely it's worth it. If you're still in the I'm just gonna like I did finance in school, I'm gonna go try and get an accounting or an auditing job and then
And
try
then,
and see if I cut it. My answer is straight out no. Because you're gonna end up, and I'll tell you why I say no. Because you're gonna end up spending time getting frustrated. Because you see, it's laughing. I'm pretty sure no one. I don't think anyone. I don't want to say pretty sure because there may be some genius out there that it was easy. They didn't have to read anything and even study, and they just got their CPA without even studying. With 99% of people that have done CPAs or CAs, regardless of the region or the country where you are in, I'm pretty sure it didn't come easy to you. So which is why I said if you're not sure on what you want to do, I wouldn't advise it because you're gonna spend time.
yeah,
It's not cheap either. you,
yeah.
you know,
You pay for your lifetime, right? Basically.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, and trust me, you if I'm signed because I know people that because they were trying to get a CPA or a
Hmm.
CA, it has affected them not just physically but mentally because of the stress that comes with it.
Yeah.
It's a very process and effort intensive exam.
Yep.
It's just like you're doing medical exams. Is what I would say. So that's why I mean, if you're not sure, I wouldn't advise it. But if that is what you have a passion for it, you see yourself excelling, see yourself becoming a partner, you see yourself becoming a CFO, you see yourself becoming a director of a financial unit within a public organization, it is worth it because it would make way for you. And to Gagan's point, I'm not going to lie to you. I think that's, I don't know why, but I feel like sometimes experience doesn't just get you there. Your designation, and it's not just accounting. To be honest with you, accounting is just one of the professions where
Yeah.
it's required. But medical science, medical doctors actually also require certifications, nurses. So it's just the same thing. It would help you, and it will make it, especially in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think I would like to add one more point to it. And that point would be, regardless of the fact that you have a CPA or not,
yeah,
if you are going to work for an audit firm, an accounting firm,
yeah,
you need to get one if you move to a level where you will be involved in audits and stuff at like a manager level, or maybe even if you get to the partner level, of
yeah.
course, then you need it, because you need to sign off
And you
certain
cannot sign
things.
off
You
without a
cannot sign
designation.
off
Yeah, you're
without
right.
having that designation. And hey, somebody needs to do that. We don't have AI sitting there like saying, hey, the
Yeah.
audit is done and I'm going to sign off as an AI CPA. I don't think we have that yet.
No, I don't
I
think
don't know
so.
about the future,
It could
but
happen.
it could
It'll
happen.
be
You
fun to
have,
see
hey,
though.
the first CPA certified
Yeah,
artificial intelligence. You never
yeah,
know if that's going to happen. But
yeah,
I think, and even people do have high regards for others who hold a CPA. And I'm not saying to boost up your confidence, you need to get a CPA,
yeah,
because as you mentioned, it is intensive as compared to a university degree. Like it is,
yeah,
it takes time, it takes effort. A lot of people have more than one try.
yeah,
Like I did have some exams when I was doing my ACCA, which I had to go through more than once in order
yeah,
to get to the next level. And that kind of investment is required from time, money,
yeah,
and stuff. So it does have some extra value, because generally when you say, oh, I have an accountant, and especially if in a country which is highly regulated, like maybe Canada, you need someone who is a CPA, because they need to either sign up or they have the knowledge. Going to an accountant, I'm not saying, not judging any accountants who don't have a CPA, but it is necessary to keep up to date, and a CPA needs to have their hours, so the learning continues.
mhm,
And because the learning continues, let's say if you're a tax expert and you're a CPA, you will have that update which has come from the CRA and
yeah,
stuff, and you will have those updates. You would have learned it at your firm, or you would have got training for it, and you can help your clients with it.
yeah.
A person who is not a CPA, firstly, can't sign off. Secondly, they might not be keeping up to date with it, because a university degree doesn't require you to keep up to date
No,
with it.
it's a
It's
point in
more of a
time.
personal choice then.
Exactly.
So that's why I think that differentiation makes CPA a bit more valued.
They should pay you.
Yeah.
They should pay you. I'm telling you, you're marketing CPA to the people out there. They should pay you. One quick question that came into my
Yeah.
mind while you were talking is
Like CPA guys, if you're watching this, please sponsor our videos. We are happy to do that.
we're able to partner with you.
Yeah.
But one quick question I wanted to ask you, and it would be good to shed light on your experiences because I know
Yeah.
you have an experience in it. That's why I'm asking you. What do you think about the process when, especially for people that immigrate from different countries to separate countries on and they have existing either CA designation or ACC, and then in a different country where you require you know
Yeah.
the actual specific designation for that
Yeah.
region. So how walk us through the process. How was it for you? Is it what going through that process? And would you and for people that are in different countries, let's say Asia,
Yeah.
Africa, or even Australia, that are thinking of moving to any other country, I would say North America,
Yeah.
or UK, or Europe.
Yeah.
What would be your advice? And they're probably staff accountants, right? What would be your advice on them on what sort of CPA should do? Should they go and do the designation of chartered accountant within their region?
Yeah. So as you know, I was a FCCA, basically a fellow member of ACCA
Yeah,
when I moved here. So it does open doors. I
yeah,
think it was easier having a designation, kind of says this person has the experience,
yeah,
has a designation, knows what he's doing. So it kind of makes it easier to get that first interview. Then of course I had to go through the interviews and get it.
yeah. So,
Luckily, when I applied over here,
mhm,
there was an MRA agreement between CPA and
CP
and
ACCA,
ACCA.
right?
So
Yeah.
I was able to do some extra tax
Yep.
course and a course on what do you call law, and was able to get the CPA. But I got a CPA CGA.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, it's not necessary that that will always open doors for you.
Yep.
I would say if you were living in a country and you're sure you're going to stay there for a while, that's what my plan was initially. So that's why I did the
ACCA.
ACCA.
Okay.
You should do it regardless. It sets a good base, and sometimes you have those MRAs which can really help you. I do have to point out certain countries, and I might get into hot water for saying this, but I'm going to say that anyway.
Mm.
Is a lot of countries have a lot of red tape around it, and Canada is one of those countries. And there is a reason for that. They want to protect people who are already CPAs because they have gone through a stringent, a very, very detail oriented process.
Yep.
And somebody coming from outside might not be able to follow it completely the way they want it to. Yes, the basic knowledge is going to be the same. The way you are is pretty much the same. But there are certain requirements which are specific to the country,
Yep.
and the way things work in that country are different. So having that designation or going through that within the country itself helps you elevate the kind of service you're going to provide.
Mm.
So I understand the red tape around that, but sometimes it could go push to an extent wherein it looks like what was even the purpose of me doing the designation in my country and just repeating it over here. When you have to go through the process from scratch, it's painful. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people who have done that. I think, and this is something which just my thought process, I think things should be a bit more clearer in terms of how different designations work with each other.
Mhm.
Now, within Canada itself, you have different, like for Ontario, you have CPA Ontario, you have CPA BC, which is for British Columbia, and then you have
Alberta
CPA
as well.
Canada, which is different from everything. So CPA Canada is not exactly like saying, hey, you come here, you CPA Canada, so you are a CPA throughout Canada. No.
No. Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about in terms of red tape. That is mostly in the North American regions, like
Mhm.
that's similar in US as well. But when you go to probably Europe,
Yeah.
countries like UK has ACCA and they also have ICAW.
Yeah.
So, and like for example, for India, they have CPA. Now, and certain countries don't even have a designation. So they're okay to have a CPA US, a CPA Canada come in and do the work. So I think it's very specific to the country you're in, and it depends. It depends. It can be a difficult journey, but yes, I would still recommend people to do it.
Yeah. So my takeaway from everything you said is first and foremost, if you're thinking of migrating from the country where you are,
Yeah,
there's still some value in doing the designation for the country where you are in because I mean it's never 100%, but there's a potential, for you to actually go through a shorter route to
yeah,
convert if you actually do move.
Hmm.
That's one. And I think the second one is still saying it's worth it. You might as well do the work.
exactly,
It's not easy, but still do it.
exactly. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think I'm more on the pessimistic side because I have been through the process, and I feel like to your point they could do better.
yeah,
The red tapes that you have to go through that could be more straightforward. And I think if you can demonstrate, I feel like if and I get your point on when you said that you have to go through the red tapes to get, I mean, like especially when you're converting, that you have to do more work, and,
yeah,
do additional exams in some cases, or just the courses. I get the fact that you're trying to protect the integrity of the profession within the
yeah,
region. I get that. However, if you can, until you like, and the way I see it is auditing has the same foundation.
yeah.
Accounting might have some nuances across region, but auditing is materially the same,
That is right.
right?
That's right. Yeah,
So if you can demonstrate that you have that foundation, I mean, and you can actually demonstrate. I know sometimes it's very hard, validating experience and stuff, but if you can demonstrate and it can be validated, I think if you're like the logical next reason, the logical or the logical let's say solution is for where there are nuances, which
yeah,
is probably tax and some of the accounting requirements, which is maybe inventory, across regions and stuff. then those are the things that you can be expecting them to demonstrate competency and knowledge on. And then they should, because it's very, very, very discouraging. Someone has over 10, 20 years and then you come into a different country. And I'm not specifically calling out any country here. But you get it could be
Yeah.
it could be one of the things that could actually deter people from actually coming into the accountant profession in a new country where they find themselves.
Well, maybe that's what they want. Like
Yeah.
certain countries do want that because they want to keep certain amount of professionals in each industry to kind of keep a balance. I know it's not probably the best thing,
Yeah.
but probably that's what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want, to be honest with you, then that's the best strategy.
Exactly. Yeah.
You get
Go
what I'm
ahead.
saying?
Yeah.
Like if that, then I support your strategy fully because then you're getting the desired result. But I think the only concern I have is especially in this kind of climb where, and probably that's probably a topic for the next time, where people are leaving the accountant profession. People
Yeah.
are, you can see a lot of talent exits. Is
Oh,
there an
preferring,
opportunity?
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Is there opportunity for also rating this, not from a strategic and holistic point of view, to see how we can better help? I know, yes, you can't touch everyone, but see how
Yeah.
whatever you're doing up there could, impact or drive people towards the profession and away from the profession.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I would like to throw in there and probably ask you a question is, how do you think having a designation, a CPA,
Yeah.
impacts salaries as compared to someone who doesn't have a CPA?
I think good question. I think it does, and I'm just trying to, because I've had various experience and I've worked in various
Exactly.
places. That's why it does, and not I think I know it does. And maybe I'll just give you examples across where different
Yeah.
countries. In Nigeria, it does. Like
Yeah.
specifically, if you are coming as a staff accountant and you're already a CA, which is chartered
Yeah.
accountant,
Yeah.
you get paid, I think 10 or 20% more than someone who is not.
All right.
You get, when you're promoted to your salary scale is different from someone who's doing chartered.
Yeah.
And then I think I don't know, to be honest with you, and I'm just going to bring us back to Canada where we are right now.
Yeah.
I honestly do not know, and I will tell you why, because I know for Canada, especially in the public accounting sphere,
Yeah.
once you can demonstrate experience,
Yeah.
and they can see that you're a CA where you're coming from, it gives you that leverage.
Yeah.
Which is why, to your point, even if you're thinking of migrate, still do that CA, because it
Yeah.
would give you that, it gives you that leg up that you
Yeah.
actually have done it before, and it probably be easier for you to actually just get it done here as well.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a material difference.
Yep.
I do not know, because based on what I've been exposed to, I don't think so. But I don't know.
I do know, however, like for audit firms and stuff,
Yeah.
I haven't worked in industry for
Yeah.
over 10 years now, and that was very short-lived in Dubai.
Yeah.
So talking about audit and accounting firms, what I've seen is certain firms have this policy wherein they do not promote you beyond a certain level if you don't have the designation.
That's true.
And that keeps you stuck
At a level.
and also does not allow you to kind of experience that extra salary which you would have gotten because you probably have the skills, but you can't get promoted beyond that.
Yeah.
It is in a lot of firms now because they want to have, especially when it hits the manager level, that's where things starts getting tricky.
Yeah. And you know why they do that, right?
Yeah, I do know the reasons. Like one is, of course, they want to make sure that people who are progressing are going to stay long enough and they're going to become partners and they are CPAs, because at the end of the day, you don't want someone who's sitting there who's not a CPA and can't even sign. There's no future
in a
for that
nutshell,
person.
that's it. Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're protecting your business. So that's the way it should be. Yeah.
Exactly. Is there anything else you would like to ask or anything else you want to throw in there?
No. I think you've been in your fluent way, I've covered every key points. I think will be burning questions that our viewers will want to hear about. So I would say great conversations again today. Thank you for always bringing your best self forward, and see you next time, man.
Thank you so much as well. So before we leave, we'd like to ask you the question.
Yeah.
In Canada specifically, and if you're from some other country, please throw that in the comments as well.
Yeah.
CPA or CA, yes or no? And do throw in the reasons as well.
Yeah.
And if there's any other topic you would like us to discuss on this channel, please share in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and share it with other people, help our channel grow so we can bring it to other people and share this knowledge.